Hey, beautiful humans! Welcome back to Rise and Radiate, where we explore the legends, the trailblazers, and the people who've quietly, sometimes even secretly, shaped the world in ways we barely realize. It's about pulling back the curtain on these incredible figures.
And today, oh man, Lydia, we're diving into a seriously inspiring story. It's a story about pure, unadulterated curiosity, about honoring tradition, but also about a deep-seated rebellion against stagnation, and how one dude, Martin Carthy, completely transformed an entire musical culture, specifically the British folk scene.
Okay, if you don't know him yet, don't worry at all. That's perfectly fine. By the end of this episode, I promise you're going to feel like you just went on a whirlwind walk through the last 60 years of British folk music, and not just observed it, but watched it evolve and breathe right in front of your eyes. He's been that integral.
It's truly incredible. So Carthy's journey really begins, I think, with something we all fundamentally relate to. That one moment when you just stumble onto something that grabs your brain, your heart, your soul, and absolutely refuses to let go. It's that feeling of an undeniable magnetic pull.
Absolutely. For him, it wasn't some grand orchestrated discovery in a polished music hall. It was the raw, vibrant, early English folk scene, these old songs, ancient almost, that had somehow just survived. They'd been passed down, often orally, through countless generations. And he admitted, honestly, he didn't quite understand them at first. They were complex, sometimes melancholic, almost mysterious. But there was this undeniable pull, almost like the songs themselves were whispering, "Hey kid, yeah you, pay attention."
And he did. He totally did. He didn't just casually observe, he dove headfirst into it during his teenage years. He spent countless hours soaking up the performances of these incredible traditional folk singers. People like Sam Larner, for instance, who was a fisherman, just an ordinary working-class guy, but he possessed this treasure trove of extraordinary songs and stories. For Carthy, encountering these authentic voices, these deep narratives, this living history, it literally blew his mind wide open. It was a revelation, showing him this profound cultural depth he never knew existed.
It's like finding a secret tunnel to the past, but one that's still vibrating with life. He wasn't just observing, he was experiencing a living lineage. But here's something even wilder, John. At the exact same time he was immersing himself in English folk, he had his eyes open to Indian classical music too. Talk about a mind-bending parallel path.
Dude, seriously, this part of his story is just mind-blowing. He was at school, just a kid, probably bored in class, tapping out rhythms on a desk, as you do. And his teacher, get this, a former colonel who had worked with Indian musicians, just casually says, "Oh yeah, that rhythm, that's Indian." And boom, suddenly Carthy's being introduced to the giants, Ali Akbar Khan and Ravi Shankar. Imagine that, from a school desk to a gateway to a whole new universe of sound.
Like, imagine being 16 years old and your first live Indian classical concert is Ravi Shankar. I mean, that kind of experience, at that formative age, it doesn't just inspire you musically, it fundamentally rewires your brain, doesn't it? It expands your entire concept of what music can be.
Totally. That concert didn't just inspire him in terms of melodies or techniques. It made him realize there were whole worlds of music out there, each with its own intricate logic, its own deep philosophy, its own unique brilliance. And that, I think, profoundly set the tone for everything he became. It instilled in him this insatiable curiosity and an openness that allowed him to approach tradition not as a fixed artifact, but as something living and adaptable.
Exactly. Which brings us to one of the coolest things about his story and his enduring philosophy. The idea that tradition isn't something you freeze in amber, It's not a museum piece. It's something you actively reshape, you evolve, you even break down and rebuild. It's dynamic.
Yes, this is so crucial. He recounts this amazing anecdote from when he first started working with the legendary fiddler Dave Swarbrick. Carthy would bring in a traditional tune, meticulously learned, and Swarbrick would immediately just change it. He'd tweak a note, alter a rhythm, make it his own. And Carthy, being the young purist, would be like, "You can't do that. That's not how the tune goes. You're messing with it."
And Swarbrick's response? It's iconic. He basically said, "Bro, a tune is a coat hanger. You hang your own coat on it." Just let that sink in for a second. It completely flipped Carthy's perspective. It wasn't about rigid adherence. It was about personal interpretation within a shared framework.
Man, that's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Tradition isn't a sacred, untouchable museum piece. It's a living organism. It's meant to be engaged with, to be breathed into, even to be messed with, as he put it. It's how it stays alive, how it adapts, and how new generations connect with it meaningfully, rather than just passively observing it.
It implies a responsibility too, not just to preserve, but to innovate. And another thing I love about Karthi is his incredible humility. This dude has been playing guitar for over 40 years, touring, recording, influencing literally generations of musicians, and he still talks like a student, like someone constantly learning.
He really does. He said, that he doesn't necessarily think his playing is as well-equipped or technically flashy as it might have been decades ago, but he genuinely believes he's a better singer now. That's a profound observation after such a long career, shifting focus, finding new strengths.
And he talks about songs like they're these old friends who slowly, over time, reveal their secrets to you. Not all at once, not when you want them to, but when they feel like it, when the time is right, after you've spent enough time with them. It's a very patient, almost spiritual approach to art.
That hits so deep, Lydia. It's like creativity isn't something you conquer or master in one go. It's something you show up for, again and again, with respect and open-mindedness. It's a continuous dialogue, a lifelong apprenticeship, even when you're at the top of your game.
Absolutely. Now here's one big surprise from our research into his story. He actually admitted he finds songwriting incredibly difficult. Or at least he feels like he's terrible at it, which is wild for someone of his stature.
I know, right? He said he's in absolute awe of people who can just knock out a song in an afternoon, seemingly effortlessly. His own songs, he confessed, often took years to come to fruition, painstakingly put together. It sounds almost torturous for him.
But once you hear why, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? He was essentially working with the greatest, most enduring songwriters who ever lived, anonymously. These were traditional songs, ancient songs, honed and refined by countless individuals over hundreds of years, reaching him in their most perfect, distilled form.
Exactly! Imagine trying to compete with hundreds of years of collective human wisdom and artistic refinement. Yeah, no pressure, right? It's not just one person's genius, it's the aggregate brilliance of generations. That's an impossible standard to set for oneself, and it makes his humility even more understandable.
It really does. Now, beyond his musical genius, this dude wasn't just a musician. He grew up in a deeply political household, which really shaped his worldview and actions.
Definitely. One of his earliest, most vivid memories was hearing that South Africa had elected the architect of apartheid, and watching his mother's visceral, heartbroken reaction. That image, that moment, just stuck with him and obviously fueled a deep sense of social justice.
His family boycotted products from South Africa long before it was mainstream, long before it became a widespread movement. We're talking decades before, when it was an unpopular, almost fringe stance. That's conviction right there.
And at just 21 years old, he actually recorded a song for the African National Congress, the ANC, which was a huge, brave step at the time. This was long before the rest of the world, especially the mainstream, truly caught up to the severity and injustice of apartheid. He wasn't waiting for permission.
He didn't look away. He didn't wait for others to lead. He took action based on his moral compass. That's incredibly inspiring, and it shows that his artistry wasn't separate from his ethics. They were deeply intertwined.
Exactly. And speaking of ethics, he also has this super interesting take on national identity. He doesn't really vibe with the whole my country, right or wrong mindset that so many people cling to. He finds it problematic, and honestly, I agree with him.
He's like, if saying something true about your country's flaws, about its historical injustices or its current failings feels like a punch in the nose, that's not a problem with the truth, that's a problem with you. It's a call for honest self-reflection, even if it's uncomfortable, which is so needed today.
Absolutely. And his comments about climate change? Bruh, he was so far ahead of his time. He was talking about these issues decades ago with a clarity that many politicians are only just now reluctantly adopting.
He expressed genuine bafflement that people, and especially politicians, those in positions of power, could just casually dismiss something as massive and undeniably impactful as global warming, when their choices profoundly shape the entire planet for future generations. It's a deep concern for shared responsibility.
It shows he sees the bigger picture, always. Later in his life, working with family became this whole new, incredibly enriching chapter for him. Playing with his wife, Norma Watterson, and their daughter, Eliza Karthi, wasn't just a musical collaboration. It was deeply emotional, almost spiritual, you know?
He said with Eliza, in particular, he doesn't even need to talk. They just have this unspoken connection, this innate understanding. She just knows where he's going musically, anticipating his phrasing, his movements. It's like telepathy on stage, a beautiful, rare synchronicity.
That's not just technique or practice, is it? That's soul alignment. That's a deep, profound bond translating directly into musical chemistry. It's something you can't force. It just happens with that kind of family connection and shared history.
It's truly special. He also talked quite a bit about the inherent weirdness of traditional music, how it deals with topics that modern pop music would just never touch, themes that are often uncomfortable or taboo.
Oh yeah, we're talking incest, murder ballads, super dark, grim stories that reflect the harsh realities of historical life. But also, alongside that darkness, there's profound love, deep loss, strong community bonds, and acts of outright rebellion. It's the full spectrum of the human experience, unfiltered.
He actually said that's precisely why folk music, traditional music, can't truly be commercialized or packaged into a neat, marketable product. It's too real, too blunt, too raw, too inherently human to be sanitized for mass consumption. It resists that kind of commodification.
And honestly, that just makes me love it even more. It's a testament to its authenticity, its refusal to compromise. It stands apart, preserving these incredibly potent stories and emotions that resonate through time, precisely because they haven't been watered down.
After decades in music, from his seminal solo work to being a founding member of iconic bands like Steel Eye Span and Brass Monkey, Carthy's influence is absolutely everywhere, even if you don't always trace it directly back to him.
He didn't just play music. He helped revive the entire folk movement in the 60s, mentored countless younger musicians, explored and preserved ancient traditions while simultaneously reinventing others, and stayed incredibly curious and open through it all. That's a true legend.
Even now, as he's gotten older, he splits his time between diverse band projects and deeply personal solo work. He's still experimenting, still learning, still honoring the past with profound respect, while simultaneously rewriting and reinterpreting it for new ears. He's a living conduit.
He's absolute proof that tradition isn't something dusty and inert that belongs in a museum case, to be looked at from a distance. It's a vibrant, ongoing conversation, a living, breathing entity that never truly ends. It just transforms.
So yeah, Martin Carthy wasn't just a musician, he was a bridge between old and new. A bridge between diverse cultures, a bridge between generations, always connecting, always flowing.
And maybe that's the biggest, most beautiful lesson from his incredible story. You don't have to choose between honoring the past with reverence and exploring the future with boundless curiosity. You can absolutely do both, gracefully and powerfully. You can be the hinge between worlds.
And if you stay curious long enough, truly engaged with the world around you, your life in its own unique way becomes its own kind of beautiful, evolving music.
Thanks so much for hanging with us today on Rise and Radiate. Stay curious, stay radiant, and we'll catch you in the next one.